Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 488. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at Past Lives, which is available now on VOD platforms. We'll also be going over some we've been watching on the watch list and talking about new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us. New Saved by the 90s should be dropping this week if I get my shit together and finish the edit. I'm hoping to just buckle down and crank that out today or tomorrow at the latest. So stay tuned for that. We're talking about Past Lives this week. This is written and directed by Celine Song. I have a synopsis here. Nora and Hae-sun, two deeply connected childhood friends, are wrested apart after Nora's family emigrates from South Korea. 20 years later, they are reunited for one faithful week as they confront notions of love and destiny. Kevin, we'll start with you. What were your initial impressions of Past Lives?
Past Lives. I thought that this movie was it's fine. Like, I thought it was fine. For the most part, I enjoyed myself. Like, it was a nice, relaxing movie. Like, it had a nice pace to it. And I just slightly confused about just everyone fawning over this movie.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Like, it's fine though. It's fine.
Yeah, like one of the big things that I wanted to go into this fairly cold, so I didn't know really anything about this other than that, like, people are absolutely loving it, and a lot of people, at least from what I saw, were saying that it's like just so heartfelt and will leave you in tears. And I didn't really feel that at all. So I guess in that regard, I was a little bit disappointed. But overall, I liked this movie quite a bit. I agree with you in that I don't necessarily see the kind of 10 out of 10 status that this is getting. Will this end up on my top 10 of the year? It might. It could. But yeah, it's not like my favorite of the year so far or anything. But I think that it's a very well made romance that I think it's like it's very light. It's very breezy. It's not super heavy. It's not super like unrealistic or anything. It's very grounded. And I kind of liked where it went. Like I liked how it ended. I like how it played out because I mean they even say in the movie how most movies like this play out. And I always find that to be like a bummer, especially when John Majaro's character's like a genuinely good guy. I didn't want to see him get his heart broken.
I liked Greta Lee. I thought she was fantastic in this role. Like you said, it's a sweet enough romance movie, or I should say bittersweet romance movie. And I liked the pacing. I enjoyed kind of just the breeziness of it. And even though it's kind of high stakes, but not really. Like, it's weird in that way that it's, you're talking about like this love story that just couldn't work because of things outside of their control, really. But, like in terms of just like filmmaking, to me, there just wasn't really much there, like in terms of like visuals or anything. It's just a pretty decent story.
I actually liked the cinematography quite a bit. I thought
performance, everyone else I thought was fine.
Yeah, I thought everybody for the most part was fine. Like you, I was impressed by Greta Lee's performance because I think I've only ever seen her in sort of like her role in Russian Doll, like that type of character. So I feel like that this is kind of not a role that I've seen her in before. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. And going back to the visuals, like I thought that they were quite good. Like I didn't think like didn't blow my mind or anything. Like there weren't any, specific shots or anything that I could highlight as being, outstanding. But I did like the overall look. I liked, the dolly shots of them walking in New York towards the end. Like I thought that there were some nice visuals. I don't know if it looked like it was shot on film. I'm not sure if it was or not, but yeah, overall it was shot on film. I just looked. So yeah, I think it looks good. I don't have much else to say about it. I think I'm kind of aligned with you on this, in that it's just a really kind of nice romance.
Yeah. And it is what I would call, and this is a compliment, truly. This is like just a really nice afternoon movie.
Mm-hmm. I watched it this afternoon, and I gotta say, I was kind of strategic because I felt like, okay, I think that this is going to be like a Sunday afternoon movie, and it was good. It was a good choice. It felt right to me.
I think of it this way. A good afternoon movie is like, a lot of people like to nap, right? And I'm jealous of those people because naps always make me feel absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like I feel like absolute dog shit after a nap. But like a good afternoon movie is what I feel like everyone else is talking about when they're like, ooh, naps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like a coziness to it.
Yeah.
It's comfortable, it's cozy, it's familiar, it's relaxing.
So yeah, like I get a little bit of rest in.
Yeah, I that is kind of how I think a good way to look at this movie. It's very inoffensive. It's not super like you said, the stakes are there, but it's not like there are these huge monumental conflicts that happen. It's just regular human stuff, like
It's like quietly heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
Those involved.
Yeah. To me, this is an easy recommend. Impressive debut for Celine Song as well, to me. Like, I think that she did a really good job with this, and I'm very excited to see what she's working on next. Because I think that this shows an incredible amount of talent.
From my understanding, she's a playwright. I think that's what I read.
I was kind of wondering, like, I didn't really have time to kind of dig into this, like the backstory with this film, but I was kind of wondering, like, how much this was based off of her life, if any aspect of it was autobiographical.
It seems like it was.
Yeah, at least the character of Nora seems like maybe it was modeled after her.
Cool. She moved to Canada when she was 12. Father was a filmmaker.
Well, then, yeah, definitely mirrors that then. All right, that's Past Lives. Let's go ahead and give it a score. For me, I'm at like I'm at like a 7.5, 8 on this one.
I give this is like a solid, like a rock solid 7. Like this movie was made for a 7 for me.
There you have it. That is Past Lives. It's available on VOD now. I will note that it is the like premium VOD, so you might want to wait just a little bit until it drops in price. I don't think that it's like not worth that or anything. It's just, nothing. I don't think it's anything you need to see immediately. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about some of what we've been watching. I think it's my turn this week. I don't have a whole lot, and also I don't have anything like super notable either. Like pretty much everything I saw this week was like right down the middle for me. But I'll start things off with Clockers from 1995. This is directed by Spike Lee. I gotta say, like, there's a bunch of earlier Spike Lee movies that I have not seen, so I'm kind of like trying to wipe those off my wall of shame, as it were, and watch all of the earlier Spike Lee films. Clockers is kind of an interesting one. I guess really all of his movies, all of Spike Lee's movies, in some regards, are interesting, even if they are kind of just conventional stories like this one. This stars Mekhi Phifer in a very early role for him as this. He's kind of like he's a drug dealer, just trying to get his life figured out, and someone gets murdered in their neighborhood, and his brother, his older brother, gets arrested and charged with the murder. But there's still kind of an investigation. The detectives think that maybe the his older brother is covering up for him. And then there's like Delroy Lindo is in here, and he plays this kind of like older gangster guy who is sort of Mekhi Phifer's boss. And you have Harvey Keitel and John Turturro as the homicide detectives who are investigating the case. This is a really solid kind of drama. One interesting thing is that Mekhi Phifer's character is like obsessed with trains. Like he has a Lionel, like the Lionel train sets. He has like a giant belt buckle that he wears of the Lionel train sets, and he has this like really elaborate train set in his apartment. So that's kind of a weird thing. And he like drinks this like kind of off-brand Yoo-hoo throughout the whole movie. And then eventually he ends up in the hospital from drinking too much of it because he has like an ulcer or something from it. and it really bears really nothing to the plot whatsoever. It's just like this kind of side thing that's going on. So it's kind of
incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. But yeah, you have great cinematography here. It's Spike Lee. It is definitely shot in his style, and has a solid message like most of his movies. So yeah, I give it a light recommend. Clockers.
Also see here that it's got sticky fingers.
It does, yeah, it does have sticky fingers in it.
Star.
Yep.
Oh, man, hell yeah. I watched Gremlins.
Oh, okay. All right.
Joe Dante, 1984. Gremlins. It's been so incredibly long since I've seen this movie, so had to do it. It's right there on Tubi. Come on, Gremlins.
Yeah, I mean, how could you go wrong?
And man, I had fun with this. This is such a fun movie. And I didn't know, or I didn't remember, or God knows what even version I saw this, like back when I was little. It was probably like a TV version or some shit. But man, they fucking annihilate some gremlins.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say that the gremlins annihilate people, which also happens. Like the lady
Also happens.
The lady in the I'll never forget the lady in that, what you call it, the wheelchair elevator, the lift.
Straight out the fucking window.
Launches her out the window.
It's just incredible. But I mean, they like the first one that dies is in like an open blender.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's blended everywhere. And then she immediately stabs another one like 14 times, just going off on these gremlins. But I also truly enjoyed that the gremlins are only like alive, for what? Most of them, they're only alive for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so. And they know so much of American culture.
Yeah.
They're playing cards. Found, I don't know where they found all their clothes, because they find so many different types of clothes. They figure everything out so quickly, and they're just having the time of their lives.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, like, are they like somehow sentient, like before they get birthed?
It's just this like primal, like passed down knowledge of how machinery works. and where to get leg warmers in your size.
No, so you
And
think that maybe they have like a collective conscious type of thing? It's like a
they
hive.
have to.
It's a hive mind, the gremlin
Yeah, because
hive
I mean,
mind.
yeah, because they essentially are birthed off of the back of another one, you
Hmm.
know. So I would imagine that they're all connected.
Could be. That's an interesting theory. I wonder if that is explored anymore in Gremlins 2, the new batch, because I literally remember almost nothing about that one, the sequel, except for that there was the flying one that had the wings. And I've been really meaning to rewatch Gremlins 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch Gremlins too, because I do want to see, if this is explored more. I need more information. Also, I just felt so bad for Gizmo.
I know.
Poor guy. He's just having a rough go of it.
Yeah. Apparently they're working on a new one. I don't know like at what stage of development it is, but I get there's been rumors about a third one forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Most definitely. Most definitely. Cool. That's Gremlins. Check that out if you haven't. I saw School Days, which is another Spike Lee, 1988 for this one. So this is an early one for him. He did She's Gotta Have It, and the success of that enabled him to start to do some bigger productions. And School Days was his next one. And yeah, it's definitely a much bigger production. You got a much larger cast in here. This is a college movie, so it takes place in this black college. And it's like your kind of typical college comedy, maybe a little bit more over the top than some of them as far as like the goofiness goes, because a lot of it almost felt like it was kind of spoofing or like satirizing college life, like specifically fraternities and how ridiculous and goofy fraternities are. Um, you have a really great cast in this one, like most of Spike Lee's movies. Lawrence Fishburne plays the one of the leads. Giancarlo Esposito is sort of the antagonist, who's like the leader of this like ridiculous fraternity. And then you have Spike Lee in here as well, as he plays a bigger role than most of the other films that he has little cameos in. But yeah, this one's okay, I guess. It's as far as like a college comedy goes, it's all right. There's like it's just a little bit too goofy for me, I think. That like there's multiple kind of musical interludes in it, and it's just a little too silly for me because I didn't really find any of it to be very funny, but I still found it to be entertaining. So that's School Days. I mean, you can definitely see Spike Lee's style forming here, which is actually kind of interesting in that he had such a distinct voice, like from very early on in his career. Even with a movie like this, which the reason that I never watched this movie is because I always thought it looked kind of stupid. But even with a movie like this, you can still he still has a very prominent voice with his filmmaking. So yeah, I don't know. Light recommend maybe School Days.
Okay. All right. I watched George A. Romero's The Dark Half from 1993, Stephen King
Mm-hmm.
adaptation with Timothy Hutton. Timothy Hutton playing two roles in this bad boy. He's a writer. Thad Beaumont.
Dad Beaumont.
Thad Beaumont. Now, the thing about Thad Beaumont that most people don't know is that he has a pseudonym by the name of George Stark. And he writes these like violent pulp thrillers. Huge, huge, absolutely successful bestsellers all the time. Some dude finds him and he's like, I'm gonna leak your story. So you gotta pay me. And Thad's like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna go just go to the press with it, which I kind of love this thing with Stephen King is that like the writers in his world, like writing is just fucking huge, you
Yeah,
know?
they're always
Like
like
these guys are
they're
just
they're
fucking massive.
celebrities. They're huge celebrities.
Just incredible because it was like, man, you're gonna have to pay me forever, to keep my mouth shut. People don't find out that you're George Stark, and I'm just like, these are news, and then people would just forget about it like 2 days later. Like, come on. But Stephen King, uh, which I think he, with a lot of his stories, he sees writers as being something that I don't think they are,
Well,
which is always interesting.
it might just be because that's how he sees himself. Like that's his life. Because he is a
Yeah.
celebrity. Like people do know Stephen King. Like he's a very, very famous person. One might argue like the most famous author.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely is. It's just I always find that kind of a bit interesting
Where he
and funny.
somehow he thinks that like this is normal for all popular authors.
Yeah, and so the wild thing about this one is Thad Beaumont when he was little, he had these brain issues. Like he would get a piercing headache, and he would just kind of like he would hear birds and all this stuff. Well, here it turns out there was a twin that didn't get fully absorbed in his brain. They cut his head open, and there's an eyeball looking around. There's a couple of teeth. Take that out. They get rid of that, and now everything's smooth sailing. But later on down the road, now that he's decided to kill off this George Stark character, his pseudonym, his pen name, George Stark comes to life and starts killing everybody that he knows. And George Stark is obviously Timothy Hutton playing like a southern badass. Like he drives a Tornado and he wears a leather jacket and he has a straight razor that he kills people with, slick back hair. Just a badass dude. This movie is fucking bonkers because the sparrows play a very important role at the end. He's always hearing sparrows. There's flocks of sparrows everywhere, and the sparrows do some fucking damage and stuff to somebody at the end. That's the crescendo, is sparrows, and it's incredible. It's worth it. Definitely watch it. It's on Tubi.
There you have it. The Dark Half. We talked about this on Saved by the 90s last Halloween. We did a Stephen King episode.
Oh, I gotta go back and listen to that.
Talked about this along with Sleepwalkers, Misery, and The Mangler.
Oh yes, the Mangler. But the sparrows, dude.
Yeah.
Just fucking people up.
It's a good scene.
Great scene.
The last one that Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what other movie has that? I can't think of another movie that has sparrows
no. I mean,
doing damage.
Yeah, maybe like I was gonna say one of the Birdemic movies, but I don't even want to mention them. The last one that I saw is The Dive. This came out on VOD this week. It's directed by Maximilian Erlwin, and this is sort of a thriller about two sisters who are they're divers. They grew up diving. They go spelunking, and I guess every year they go on this like diving trip together. It's sort of their ritual. And this year they're going to this underwater cave and stuff, and they're having a good time. Oh, guess what? There's an earthquake that happens, and all these rocks fall. And one of the sisters gets trapped underneath a rock at the bottom of the ocean. And it's up to the other sister to rescue her before her air runs out. So what you have here is the one sister basically going to the surface, grabbing extra air, trying to see if she can find help, find something to get the rock out or get her leg out, going back down, trying to give her more air. And that's sort of how the film plays out. It's okay. I like movies like this. We've talked about it many times in the past on the show. As far as like the whole kind of containment thrillers go, this is an average one, not the best, not the worst. The stakes are obviously very high in this one, and the things that happen, the conflicts, the things that occur that go wrong, all feel very grounded. Nothing in this movie feels like completely outrageous. Now, I'm not a diver, so I don't know like about specifics with the equipment and how things would really be if this were to happen in real life. But it all seemed pretty grounded to me, like pretty realistic. A lot of the issues that they were running into, like, so she would go down to the bottom and try to help her, and then she'd have to go back up. But the problem is the depth where she was trapped is below where you would need to below where it would be safe to just return to the surface without going through a decompression. So and so her sister's like, I don't have time to do this, so she just keeps going back up to the surface. And each time she goes up, she's like more and more sick. Like like this thing just the rapid change in the pressure and everything just destroys her body. So that's kind of an interesting little wrinkle that they have to deal with in the movie. But yeah, I mean, it's a simple premise, but it's done very effectively. So yeah, I give it a light recommend. That's again called The Dive.
That's it. Yeah. As soon as you mentioned that movie to me, last week, I was like, oh, that's such an Adam movie.
Yeah.
Adam's good. This is fucking, it's right up his alley.
Yeah, I always like movies where people are trapped someplace.
You're like me with like a mystery,
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone gets trapped and you're just like, well, fuck, I got to find out if they get out of here.
Yeah. Like what happens? I really enjoyed that I can't even remember the name of that one. The one that came out, I think it was last year, where they were on like the giant radio tower thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was a good one.
Yeah. It's like if someone gets trapped somewhere in like a TV show or a movie, your day is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, well, I'm not doing anything until I find out.
Yeah, I need to know.
So it's completely understandable.
I should do like a tier list or something one of these days of the best ones.
You should. You should very much should. Ranked list on Letterboxd. The only other movie I saw is Roy Anderson's About Endlessness from 2019. If you're familiar with Roy Anderson, the filmmaker, this movie is just more of the same. Really. I did not enjoy this at all. The only thing that was great about it, it was 78 minutes long. But it's just, it's just scenes, small scenes, just it's like, cycle through of just like these small, sometimes banal moments of life, The big moments, really banal moments, anywhere in between, consequential stuff, bigger things, just back and forth. And like I love the way that he sets up his frames and stuff, like the blocking and everything. But after like the first couple scenes, you're just like, oh, okay, like I get it. And it's just over and over and over again. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I was not in the mood for it at the time or what, but it just did not click with me at all. It's a lot like very much like the a pigeon sat on a branch, whatever the hell that movie was called.
Yeah,
a pigeon sat on a branch,
reflecting on existence.
Yeah, it's that again.
I kind of thought when this came out, I was like, that was kind of the vibe that I was getting, and that's why I was like, nah, I'm not even going to, like,
yeah,
because I didn't even like A Pigeon, and I think he also did Songs from the Second Floor, which I don't think I liked that either. So
about this compared to like A Pigeon Sat on a Branch is like, at least with A Pigeon, there was like a little bit more choreography. Like there were long takes, and like people would come into a room and leave a room, and like there was more going on. These are just like very, very simple and straightforward. Just like minimum action, like I mean, which is funny, but like there's even less action than what you would normally expect in a Roy Anderson movie.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I didn't watch this.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
All right. Well, that's About Endlessness. Looks like that's on Hulu.
Correct.
All right. Let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. Really, the only one of note is The Equalizer 3.
There's a third Equalizer.
I never saw any of those movies. Like they always like I love Denzel Washington, but for some reason those movies just never really appealed to me. They looked really kind of generic to me.
Yeah, I saw the first one and it was not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I was never interested in the Equalizer movies. Maybe when this one like hits VOD, I'll watch all of them or something. Speaking of VOD, this week we have on the 29th, Deltopia is coming out. And then on the 31st, we have First Person Shooter, the definitive documentary. So it's a long 4+ hour documentary on the history of the first person shooter.
Oh, God.
That seems like a good one to watch if you're like in the middle of working or something, cleaning, just something to put on in the background.
Yes.
I do that. I'll put on a YouTube video that's like a retrospective about something or other. Usually like music, but sometimes video games or something or movies.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a good background watch or listen. On the first, we have the Elephant 6 Recording Company. I think that came out in theaters like a week ago or so. I think it's a rock doc. We have
rock doc.
I'm not really familiar with that whole thing, so are you familiar with the Elephant 6 Recording Company?
I am.
Is it a studio? Is it like a recording studio?
I think I thought that was like a collective, like Neutral Milk Hotel and.
Oh yeah, I see that. The inside
Olivia
story
Tremor
of the
Control.
1990s psychedelic rock bands Olivia Tremor Control, Neutral Milk Hotel, and the Apples in Stereo.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm not really familiar with the other two, but Neutral Milk Hotel that has a couple songs I like.
There you go. Spend all your time learning, getting caught up to speed.
I really don't think I'm going to watch that. But we also have Trauma Therapy Psychosis coming out.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder if that means that there's going to be multiple entries in the Trauma Therapy series.
This looks like the second one, right?
Is it? I'm not
Because there's
familiar.
Trauma Therapy from 2019.
Oh, okay.
And now there's the second one.
Not familiar with this series. We have All Fun and Games. That looks like is that the horror one with Asa Butterfield? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, it is. I'll probably watch this. It's like some kind of demon possession type of thing. The demon makes him play kids games for some reason.
No. I love that. I love how demons are always like kids' games.
It is interesting, isn't it? Or like kids' songs, like playing old timey kids' songs that happen to be creepy. They just know. Demons just know. They know what creeps us out, and they capitalize on that.
Sure do.
We also have Into the Spotlight. We got Beaten to Death. I like that as a title for a movie. Just Beaten to Death.
Beaten to Death.
A desperate choice leads Jack down a path that leaves him beaten and bruised as he struggles against man, nature, and his own insanity.
Oh, gosh.
Not his own sanity, but his own insanity.
Well, at least he's aware, right? It sounds like he's aware that he's insane.
That looks like that's about it for VOD. On Blu-ray this week, we have Let's see. This is for August 29th. We have Gorgo from 1961. Looks like maybe a kaiju film. We got Terror at 10 Killer from 1986. Delirium from 1972. Psycho Girls from 1986. We've got The Flash coming out. 3 Days of the Condor from 1975. Looks like a bunch of the newer Chucky movies are coming out in 4K. Doesn't look like the classics. The Tale of Tiffany Lust from 1981. Looks like a bunch of it looks like Vinegar Syndrome is putting out a bunch of like porn from the looks of it, like 70s, 80s porn maybe.
Okay.
I mean, they've done that a bunch before, but it looks like this is like a whole new batch here. Let's see what else we have. Mystery Date from 1991. Equalizer 2000 from 1987. Equalizer 2000. Okay. I'm going to have to open that in a new tab, see what that's all about. Staying Alive from 1983. Once Upon a Time in Uganda from earlier this year. Last House on the Left, the 2009 remake, is coming out on Arrow. Interesting release for them, because that movie kind of sucked. New Fist of Fury from 1976 is also coming out on Arrow. Hustle and Flow is getting a 4K release. No Hard Feelings. Infinity Pool. That's pretty much it for the biggies. What about Criterion's?
Well, before we get into the Criterion, let's talk about Equalizer 2000 from 1987.
Hell yeah.
You know where you can watch this?
Tubi?
You sure can. It's on there. In a bleak post-nuclear future world, warring factions struggle to claim the Equalizer 2000, the one weapon powerful enough to guarantee survival.
Okay. All right.
Poster. Hell of a poster.
Yeah. It almost looks like a joke, the poster.
It sure does.
So this is getting added to my watch list.
Well, naturally, just incredible. But it's not on Criterion.
No.
The only Criterion we have is Dry Long So from 1998.
Cool.
A rediscovered treasure of 1990s DIY filmmaking.
Oh, Hey, I like 90s DIY filmmaking, so might have to check this one out.
There you go. Dry Long So, followed up with Equalizer 2000. Sunday is Sorted.
Wow. That's a great double bill, let me just tell you. There's also a movie coming out called Taxi Hunter.
Taxi Hunter, hunting taxis.
Mild-mannered businessman, Kin's life is shattered when his pregnant wife is run over by a busy taxi driver.
Oh.
This and another incident with a sleazy cab driver causes Kin to go on a mission to kill bad taxi drivers.
Whoa, the Letterboxd one says that he vows to get revenge on all taxi drivers. So all of them. I mean, there's 2 bad ones, but he said, play it safe, kill them all.
Well, just blanket, get rid of all of them, just to be on the safe side. This is getting added to my watch list right now.
That's not on Tubi. I'm sorry.
Well, it's coming out on Blu-ray this week, so maybe it'll get some sort of VOD release as well. I don't know who's releasing it. It says 88 Films, which I'm not familiar with.
Heard of 88? Oh, it's from the director of Ebola Syndrome.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Herman Yao. All right, well. Yeah.
Oh, he's also the guy that directed The Untold Story. Jesus
Oh, Christ. My God, The Untold Story. To this day, there's always like a handful of movies that will always and forever be like burned into your brain that you just can't unsee. And that is one of them. The Untold Story is a movie that I will never ever forget. It's so deeply disturbing, that movie.
Yes.
Maybe like one of the most disturbing, the chopsticks, just everything about it is so disturbing. Just a really vile movie. God.
Sure is.
Anyway. Still gonna watch Taxi Hunter though.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you have a minute, consider reviewing us on your podcast platform of choice. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.